Hey, it's Christian with the Paint Professor. Thanks for joining us this week. I wanted to start this week off with a story. Let's see if this has ever happened to you. So you walk into the paint store, going to place an order, getting geared up for your next client, and there's two or three other painting contractors in there. You notice on the wall of business cards, there's typically 30 to 40 other painting contractors up there at minimum. And you know that there's a lot more that frequent these stores, whatever. And this is brand agnostic, so whatever brand you're a part of. But everyone's there, kind of with arms folded. No one's really saying much, or if you do hear a comment, you wind up hearing a comment about just some sort of negativity. It gets frustrating after a while, when you're trying to professionalize your business and you see, all these painting vans or trucks outside and there's no markings on them, no one's wearing uniforms, and you're wondering how are these guys staying busy, and maybe you're staying busy, or you're struggling and just trying to figure out how the competition is managing with this stuff. But really what's wild to me, I wound up actually having a conversation with a painting contractor. We shop out of the same store. We wound up talking, and it was funny on this very subject. And I asked him, I said, how long have you been in business? And he told me that he's been in business for 15 years. Well, I've been in business for I just started my 8th year, and out of all those years, all the projects that we've worked on independently, he and I have only been on the same project once. And I was the guy who was way too high. He was the guy who didn't want to deal with it. It's not his typical scope of what he deals with. So he didn't truly bid on it. But in most situations, we would look at that as, oh, well, he's my competition. But we wound up having this great conversation and just talking about, like, what is competition, and why are we so shy to share and bring the industry up as a whole? Is it ego? Is it fear? I don't know. But this is something that we all have to kind of look at in ourselves and figure out why we're unwilling to share. Because at the end of the day, what if there's a combination out there where somebody, another painting contractor is really good at a specialty. I've had the pleasure in the past that I still have a painting company. Their guys don't like doing fine finish work. They don't do cabinet refinishes, and I get about 2 to 3 solid referrals every year from this company for the last 3 or 4 years. And it's just automatic. They don't expect anything from me. I typically try to send them something nice, whether it's a gift card for the owner and his wife to go out to dinner or something like that. But like, these are things that are super, super important. I know in the past, the same company I've used as a subcontractor because I wound up doing a giant project that I needed help on. And he had the manpower. I had the lead as far as the workflow, and I came up with a plan and managed that project, and we knocked it out pretty quickly, considering everything. So, with this whole competition stuff has to stop. Like with ego, who's a better painter, or my product's better than yours. At the end of the day, as long as we're all giving our clients as much or greater value than what we're charging them, then everybody wins. We need to make sure that we're also within that, charging the right price so that we're all profitable. And when we get into this competition mode and this antiquated process that clients put us through, especially in residential, of this 3 bid process, like that's super antiquated. Like, yeah, get when we're in the yellow pages and there's not the internet, and you're trying to figure out something about this company other than, a little 3-inch by 4-inch advertisement in the yellow pages, get 3 bids, find out their sales presentation, what the case is. But I mean, with social media, with Google reviews, with, just online reviews in general, not just Google, but with websites and, like customer should be able to see what you're going to offer before you even get there. And then when you do arrive, it's just a matter of whether or not what you said you were going to do matches how you're really presenting yourself. So it's super frustrating, and I know we all get tired of it, but we're also all guilty of still not charging for estimates, not pre-qualifying all customers, to even waste, I don't want to say waste, but for us to be driving around town for clients that aren't our ideal avatar, that are somebody who is serious about buying from us. We'll go on probably next week, and I want to talk about some of the things that I've incorporated in my sales process as a one-man band that are free to do. They require very little forethought, but this is part of my sales SOP, standard operating procedure, that I've incorporated, and I'm really doubling down on this year to make sure that I am pre-screening and vetting clients to make sure that I'm a good fit for them and that they're a good fit for me. Because if one of those things is off balance, then it's not a good fit. So coming back to the competition, when I was talking to my buddy Leo at the Sherwin-Williams store, here's what I kind of came up with. So if you just look at the numbers, this is not me, just basing it on a feeling, but based on the numbers in the county that I'm in, there's 8 Sherwin-Williams stores. Each of them, according to my rep, average about $3 million a year in sales. So with that number, 3 times 8 is $24 million. So $24 million in sales, with the industry average, according to the Painting Contractors Association, material cost on the industry average is 15%. So what that means, for every $100 that you charge, $15 goes towards paint and sundries. So with that numbers, if you take 24 million and you divide it by 15%, you get $160 million of potential jobs sold from Sherwin-Williams products in my county alone. $160 million in potential jobs sold. I'm nowhere near that. Me and Leo are nowhere near that. The guys coming out of my shop, or just out of the store that I go to, are nowhere near $160 million a year. I can think of a couple titans in our industry, in the residential space, that are doing 10 million, 8 million, 4 or 5 million. A lot of them are in the northern. I can think of some commercial operations that are doing that, but they're all few and far between. I did hear of one company that truly does have market dominance in their area. It's a painting contractor. I think he was in North Carolina doing $25 million a year. But I don't know anybody else that can do those types of numbers. $160 million of potential jobs sold just by using Sherwin-Williams products. Now, in my area, Sherwin-Williams dominates. like absolutely dominates. There is this, like, there's only one store in my county that sells Benjamin Moore. And we don't really have any other brands outside of the big boxes. So that, Home Depot, Lowe's, and then there's Ace Hardware's and a couple other specialty brands and hardware stores around. They are making fractional numbers when it comes to total market share. So considering all the Lowe's and Home Depots and factoring those other brands, let's just pretend for a moment that Sherwin-Williams, remember, we said Sherwin-Williams has the potential of $160 million jobs sold in my county alone. But let's just pretend for a second, because there's other painting manufacturers selling their product in my county, what if Sherwin-Williams is only 50% of market share? That would mean that there's $320 million of potential paint jobs completed in my county a year, and it's only getting bigger. So when you think of it in terms like that, even if you were running $1 million operation or a $400,000 operation out of the one store that you're shopping out of, the guy next to you isn't your competition. The guy in line behind you isn't your competition. So who is your competition? If you really, really think about it, your competition is who you were yesterday. How can you be better today? What things can you do? What things can you implement that's different, that makes either your job easier by creating efficiencies, by eliminating steps? What things make you more profitable by cutting waste? What things can you offer your client more by either adding services or by going above and beyond and adding more value, or even just taking care of more things for the client by adding more to the scope? Like, that's your competition. So, and I think also I need to touch on customer experience. What experience are you giving your clients? Are you not answering your phone? Are you, and we'll get to some of these free things that anybody can do in order to try to streamline the sales aspect of it. A couple things that I'd like to share. We'll go over that next week. But like $320 million of potential jobs completed in my county alone. Like that's crazy. No, you're not my competition. I'm not your competition. Let's all get better together. Let's ride this rising tide. So, if you've enjoyed this podcast, if you enjoyed this episode, I'd love for you to share it. Definitely new, trying to find out what my style is, what my voice is. And the only way to find out if this is resonating with people is if you comment, shoot me a DM on Instagram at the Paint Professor. I'll put that in the show notes. But for all of you who are listening, really appreciate it. And just let's look forward to being better tomorrow. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.